New South Wales, Victoria and the other states with daylight saving. Hi, I'm Peter Towers, Managing Director of ESS BIZTOOls. Welcome to this introduction webinar on our product, which we believe will assist you to deliver a wider range of services to your small, medium enterprise clients. If you have any questions during the webinar, can you please type your question into your computer and in webinar jargon, raise your hand, and I will answer the questions later in the webinar. So what we're going to do today is give you a discovery tour of ESS BIZTOOls. What's included in ESS BIZTOOls? We've got various products and tools. Our key product is business advisory services, which is both introduction material and then actual products. The Business Plus newsletter, client mentoring and coaching, leadership, seminars, webinars, the papers, our associated product ESS BIZGRANTS, and we'll talk about what your investment is to this product. So we have a lot to get through because there's a fair bit in this product. So what you have on the slide at present is a chart which attempts to indicate how everything fits together. Business advisory services is the key product, and it comprises introductory material. There are 12 modules to help an accountancy business get ready to offer business advisory services, and then 15 separate products that are pre-prepared, ready for you to use to start earning professional fees. The Business Plus newsletter helps you to communicate with your clients. It's not full of taxation articles, because many SMEs tell us they don't want to receive taxation articles from their accountants. They want to receive some business information. Client mentoring and coaching helps you to educate your clients on the type of services that you're able to provide. Leadership modules, there are 9 of them to cover this very important area of leadership. And the people who are going to be involved in the delivery of business advisory services will need the leadership modules. ESS BIZGRANTS is our associated product, which helps you identify government grants. ESS Papers, there are 500 and odd papers, 528, targeted at small, medium enterprises under 62 different headings, section headings, and there are 50 papers targeted at accountants on special training. We have the seminars, and then there's hundreds of forms and other material within the system. So there's a fair bit in what is contained within ESS BIZTOOls. I want to try to set the scene as it exists for accountants at present. Deloitte produced a report a couple of years ago now called Digital Disruption. And since then, the Deloitte organisation has made a number of announcements and authored a number of articles which indicates their very strong concern about the effects of digital disruption on a number of industries, not just accounting. But we've then adapted their comments to suit accounting. In Business Review Weekly in 2013, the then CEO of Deloitte, Graham Swigers, wrote an article that the accountancy profession will get worse and worse. And many surveys have identified that one of the key concerns for clients is the debtors' days outstanding position, the personal property securities register, which I think the vast majority of small businesses have got no idea how it operates, and they are getting caught in the marketplace. And cost control has been identified in the CCH survey into small business as one of the key areas. And we're going to touch on them today because we believe accountants should be offering services to cover these particular items. Just to refresh your memory, if you are not familiar with the Deloitte report on digital disruption, it's worth reading. And there's the key article. chart which indicated that 32% of the Australian economy is going to be subjected to this digital disruption effect, and professional services, which obviously includes accounting, was forecast to have 33% change in business unless something is done about it. What have you done in your firm? Now, Deloitte's suggestion on combating digital disruption included recalibrating cost structures, replenishing revenue streams, and reshaping corporate strategies. At ESS BIZTOOLS, we believe that the most appropriate area for accountants to be considering is replenishing revenue streams. And that is what we are suggesting to you would be business advisory services products. For a number of reasons, we honestly believe that you need to do something. If you stay on the same course that most firms are on of preparing annual accounts and income tax returns, there are significant problems around the corner. And secondly, small medium enterprise clients in survey after survey over the last 15 years have been identifying that they require some additional services, which is the same as saying revenue streams for accountants. They're there, but the clients are not going to wait forever. Already there are competitors emerging from other groups who will try to get some of that work. It's worth looking at what Guam Swagers had to say in the Business Review Weekly in October 2013. This is what he said about accountants. As a profession, we are doomed unless we respond to the threat of digital disruption. Volatility coupled with digital change will continue to challenge firms. And then his quotable quote, "It will get worse and worse, and then when you think it can't get worse, it will continue to get worse." Now, these are the words of the gentleman who at that stage was the CEO of Deloitte, which is now the second largest accounting firm in Australia. And Deloitte have backed that up, spending considerable sums of money and continuing to produce articles and research on this very important phase in the life of the accountancy industry. Most of their articles are free on their website. At the ATSA Conference, the Australian Technology Showcase for Accountants, presented by Smith Inc. 2020, in October 2014, the keynote speaker on the second day, or one of the keynote speakers, there were two, was Jason Bender, a partner at Deloitte. And he reiterated the messages from the digital disruption research that Deloitte have undertaken. And then he made these comments: "There is a need for accountancy business to develop strategies on how to respond to changing market conditions. If accountants are not really careful, the profession could really suffer." And when he said that, which was at the end of his presentation, he made an appeal to the 400-odd accountants who were listening to him at that conference and hundreds more on a webinar: "Don't let this happen on our watch." Very sobering comments. Now, I know some accountants don't agree with some of these comments, but we believe they're real, we believe they're well intended, and we have tried to develop products which will help you counteract these problems. The second keynote speaker at the ATSA Conference was from our old friends, the Tax Office. Jeff Leeper, the second Commissioner. Now, he was speaking about the ATO's red tape reduction strategy, and he indicated that the Tax Commissioner had signed off with the Productivity Commission that the standard business reporting strategy that he claims will be commencing from July this year and will be fully operational in the following fiscal year will achieve a red tape saving of at least $500 million per annum on an ongoing basis. In answer to a question, he said a lot of this will come from professional fees. Well, frankly, I can't see where else it's going to come from. It's not coming out of the tax office. They don't charge business. He then said this is the digital disruption for accountants. I think one of the issues that all accountants are going to face over the next 12 months in the lead up to the next federal election is that the government will start talking about the initiatives that it's undertaken to reduce red tape costs for small, medium enterprises. And you will have clients starting to come in and ask you where their fee reduction is, because the government is going to be telling them that they should be getting a reduction because the taxation office has introduced new systems. Leaper then indicated there's a market there for accountants to offer cash flow management advice. Approximately, and he's backed that up by saying approximately 60% of the debt owing to the ATO is from small business. So here you've got the second person in the tax office indicating that accountants should be starting to diversify their offerings, and they meaning the ATO, could see that there was a great opening in giving cash flow management, debtors management type advice to SMEs. So let's look at debtors. Currently, Dun & Bradstreet is saying it's approximately 54 days outstanding. I honestly believe most of your clients need some assistance if they're offering debtors to their customers. They need a debtors system. They need a guide as to how they calculate their debtors days outstanding, and then being able to monitor that and compare it. There are many businesses, and you will have some in your clients who are trading quite happily at around 30 days. Yet there's others that are up around 80, 90, 100 days as average, to bring back to this average figure that Dun & Bradstreet are talking about. Those clients need some help. The other big area we think your clients need help in is the Personal Property Securities Register. It covers all forms of property other than real estate. Now, I've had some disbelieving accountants ring me and say, why are you talking about Personal Property Securities Register? It doesn't cover business assets. And I've had to say, I beg your pardon. Well, I think a lot of accountants need to catch up with what this legislation really relates to. It is very dangerous. Your client can lose an asset worth anything, $100,000, $1 million, $5 million, through really no fault of their own, just that they've had the asset situated in the wrong situation, in the wrong position, on someone else's property, and an insolvency or bankruptcy event has occurred to the property owner or the person who owes your client money. And unless your client has registered that event or that on the Personal Property Securities Register, in all probability they are going to lose that asset. On my reckoning, the cost in Australia so far has been at least $40 million, both at the big end of town and the small end of town. And there's some major court cases underway at present which could push that figure up over the $100 million figure. I don't think any one of you would be wanting to sit there with your client after an event like that's occurred. Some people say to me, is it accountant's work? I think it's accountant's work to prompt and then monitor. Sure, there's work for solicitors to do in this, in drawing up the agreements. But I can't envisage too many of the solicitors that I've dealt with over my career actually going out and instigating the systems within your clients' businesses to monitor what's happening on a day-to-day basis. They need your help. And within ESS BIZTOOLS, we have solutions for each one of these items that I spoke about, the PPSR, debtors management, and cost control, which is the next big one. The CCH report that was finished in April 2013 identified that the SMEs that were interviewed, 1,300 of them, indicated that cost control was their biggest single problem. I think there's a great opportunity for you as the accountant to be the cost consultant to your client. to talk to them and show them about budgeting and cost control, getting quotations, doing some benchmark comparison as to what their costs are as to what their peers in their industry are, so they can get an indication of where they should be concentrating their efforts. So ESS BIZTOOLS is proud to offer you a range of non-compliance services that we believe will help you meet these challenges in 2015 and in ongoing years. Each year we produce new material to go into the system, reacting to what is happening in the marketplace. And obviously the Personal Property Securities Register has been one of those. Incidentally, I think that's some of the worst legislation I've ever seen introduced into this country. How it got through the Parliament, how the bureaucrats didn't interpret what the side effects would be, is absolutely beyond me. But no use crying about the politics of it, it is the law. So let's have a quick look at what we can show you within ESS BIZTOOLS. We have 12 modules which assist a firm to get ready to deliver business advisory service. Our suggestion is have the team that could be involved working together for 1 to 2 hours a week over a 3-month period. You will work your way through the 12 modules and you will have the team prepared to at least then start looking at the individual products. And some of the items that we have covered in those 12 modules are listed there. Stakeholder input, leadership, products, marketing. It is important to market these services. SME needs analysis, which is the vital document which will serve a purpose like a menu in a restaurant to advise your client of the type of services you can provide to them. And we have a suggested seminar with scripts prepared for each of the products. So if you decide to run 4 or 5 products to your clients initially, you don't have to sit down and write anything. We've written that for you so you can present it. And we believe it's also very essential that accountants start thinking about professional selling. Our associate, Trevor Marchant from Marchant Dallas, is conducting training courses for accountants and SMEs in professional selling. Quite a number of the subscribers to ESS BIZTOOLS have participated in those courses to improve their professional selling skills, because let's face it, not many of us were taught anything about selling in our years when we were studying. We then move into the business advisory services product modules. So these are the modules that are available. Business health checks for a number of industries, an evaluation workshop, budget and cash flows, chief financial officer services, which I really believe is one of the key products we should be offering to your clients, because that's the sort of service that I believe they're asking for. Strategic business mentoring is really acting as a finance director on the company's board, a bit higher up the chain. Won't suit every client, but will suit some. Cash flow management, business planning consultancy. We have 45 individual questionnaires within the system to help you prepare business plans. Buying a business, succession planning, selling a business, and the Personal Property Securities Register. Each year we will be adding 3 to 4 new products to that list to give you an ongoing service that you can utilize with your clients. Now you may have some others, you may have some you've already prepared that are specialized for some of your clients. That's great. We're just trying to encourage you to use them. We produce a newsletter each month which you can brand and send to your clients. It has articles targeted at small, medium enterprises. You can edit them if you wish. But we believe it will help back up your pitch to your clients for them to believe that you are capable of delivering business advisory services. This is one of the problems in the marketplace, because accountants have not been marketing to SMEs that in the main, as a profession, that we want to do a wider range of services, that we're prepared to be the chief financial officer for small businesses, So there is a need to educate the marketplace. The Business Plus newsletter will assist. Part of the education process also comes through client mentoring and coaching. There are 13 pre-prepared modules on general business advice. So if someone rings you and says they're thinking about buying another business or starting a business, or they want to start exporting, we have pre-prepared modules which we suggest you send to them in series that might take 4 or 5 weeks and could even in one case take 8 weeks if you sent them every week. And each series has a separate explanatory letter to go with it and a survey form. And our recommendation is that someone in your office should be contacting that client or prospect 4 or 5 days after the material is sent, so you can ascertain whether they've got queries that they should come and have a further discussion with you. Because unashamedly, this sort of material is being used to market these additional services that you're offering. To be able to, and you to confidently talk to a client that's currently paying you $3,000 or $4,000 a year for an annual set of accounts and a tax return, for them to have the confidence to agree to start paying you $10,000 to $15,000 a year to start offering a wider range of services. And obviously the fees could be much higher. There are firms in the marketplace paying figures like $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000. And I saw in a Smith Inc. survey recently where one firm in one state was achieving fees of over $100,000 per client through business advisory services. The leadership modules have been written to assist accountants, first of all, conduct leadership training and mentoring within your own team, within your own workforce, to make sure they're ready to deliver business advisory services. And then to be able, if you wish, to be able to offer some leadership training to your clients on a fee-for-service basis. We have 35 seminars, webinars ready to go. They contain all of the organisational material that you need for seminars and webinars. My team's been running seminars and webinars for that many years we probably want to forget how long it is. So the experience that we've learnt over that period has been incorporated within our material on seminars and webinars. All you need to do is just read the material and then make your presentations to your clients. PowerPoint slides are included, the papers are included, they're in separate downloads on the system, so you won't get the wrong material. And all this is backed up by 528 papers that are targeted at SMEs on a wide range of subjects under 62 subject headings. And there are 50 papers targeted at accountants in an accountants only section. We don't suggest you send those papers to your clients. And they're based on our research and the writings of David Maister, Andrew Geddes, Rob Nixon, David Smith, Mark Holton, Trevor Marchant, and others, the contemporary writers for accountancy services. We believe our role is to place all this into ready-to-use material, and that's what we've done. If you elect to be a gold subscriber to ESS BIZTOOLS, that means you get everything that we have in our product. You also receive a free subscription to ESS BIZGRANTS. You can subscribe to ESS BIZGRANTS separately if you don't want to be a gold subscriber. ESS BIZGRANTS will, in a matter of minutes, give you a report to tell you what government grants an individual client will probably be eligible for, but they still have to do the application form. It's a great way for you to be proactive with your clients, and it's a great way for you to start earning some variable fees from things like business plans, budgets, cash flows, management consulting, and other services. Okay, your investment is for gold, where you get everything that we have, $238 plus GST a month, or you will get a discounted upfront payment of $2,700 plus GST. We have a silver and bronze subscription. So the difference is gold receive everything that we have, including a license to reproduce all of our papers on your website, branded as yours, as long as it's in a secure section on your website. Silver doesn't include that, and doesn't include the link to ESS BIZGRANTS. And bronze receives about 30% of the material. It's a introductory selection of material, and does suit a very small one-man, one-woman firms that want to just get started. We've been updating our new website with new testimonials. So this is one that turned up today from Carmel Edgecombe of ROCG from Chatswood in New South Wales. As users of ESS BIZTOOLS for the past 2 years, our firm has benefited from the vast range of tools and templates available to assist in the quality of our client service offering. It provides a wealth of information and resources that we'd otherwise need to custom build from the ground up. So the time efficiencies created are a real bonus for our firm. And we thank Carmel Edgecombe for sending that testimonial to us. I'm now going on to the ESS BIZTOOLS website. I'm just going to check whether there's any questions. There's no questions. If you've got any questions, can you please type them in, and in webinar jargon, raise your hand and send them through to me. So we have gone on to the ESS BIZTOOLS website. You can visit as a visitor and just have a look at some of the material. It's far better to log on as a guest, and you will then receive 30 days free access to be able to look at the material. You'll have the opportunity of getting complete access to 20 of the papers and some of the other material, but hopefully you'll get a feel for how the system operates on an overall basis. You can see it's dissected into business advisory services, client mentoring, leadership, the Business Plus newsletter, client seminars, and sections and papers. So they're the main components of the system. I'm just downloading business advisory services. Our webinar internet services have been a bit slow of late, but we're now on the business advisory services, so that what you have first of all is the training modules, which are prepared for you to deliver. These are the ones that I referred to before, which are pre-prepared, ready for use. If we go into one of these, we'll go into Introduction to Business Advisory Services. You receive a summary of what's in the material. And then you get a summary of all the documents that are linked in the presentation. And the introductory material's got quite a number, as you can see. Now that could all get downloaded, which you would download into your hard drive, and then you can link from the various material, but I'm just going to go to one. So all I want to show you at this stage is the procedure control form. So within each of these modules, in Introduction to Business Advisory Services and in the Products module, there is a procedure control form which will guide you through the process. So there's a lot of material there, but we've then linked it into a readable order, so that we suggest you read the paper, and then you can read some of the other articles which we have: the prediction of accountancy business evolution, visions for the accountancy business. there's some background reading there that we believe that people who are contemplating going into business advisory services should do. And then we go into these forms that we're calling BAS. They're not that other BAS, they're business advisory services. And each of those forms are available when you download this into your hard drive, so that you can get team member surveys completed, succession planning forms, etc. There's a range of material that can flow from that source. And there once again is the material that's in the introduction to business advisory services. What I'm going to do now is just go into the business advisory services products. There are 15 of these which will help you to deliver business advisory services to clients. So we might start with debtors management. Again, there's a summary of what's included. There's a whole range of forms. Things like application forms for credit, welcome to new customer letters, debt recovery letters, etc. You can download these forms so you can read them by clicking on like I did previously, but what we're going to do is a little bit different this time. We're going to go through to the bottom and download it all. So this is now getting downloaded into Okay, so I've now downloaded all the material, so this is effectively downloading it into your hard drive. The first thing to bring up is the procedure control form. We have tried to ensure that it will always be the first item you see. You can enable editing of the document, so you can type in your answers. And if we work our way through this, we can see that the various forms that are going to have to be clicked onto. So I'll just move that across and we'll just give you an idea, and I'll skip through some of these proposals. There's forms there to assist you in your preparation of your quotation, in the submission that you're going to make to the client. They're all in the system. So we might have a look at one of them. So the debtors evaluation is form 250. So we just go back to the so there's a form that you could use as a template to prepare a proposal to go to your client on an evaluation of their debtors system, bearing in mind what the Second Commissioner of Taxation had to say, that he thinks there's a lot of work accountants could do in cash flow management. Obviously debtors is a key component of that. Debtors days outstanding 54 days. That's where I would start contact the client and ask them what their debtors days outstanding is, and if it's anywhere around the 54 days, you should be able to sell this, especially after you've done the 3 months of getting ready to offer business advisory services. We take you through that whole process to assist you to be able to deliver that. So if we just go back, we've got the procedure control form obviously on the right hand side. We should be undertaking a debtors review. It should be where you're going to start. So the debtors review is 167. We'll enable the editing. So this is a detailed questionnaire that's then in the system, which enables you to do a due diligence review on the debtors. And what you're trying to do here is to find out what are the problems, especially if your client's sitting on 58 days, debtors days outstanding. What are they doing about directors' guarantees, and are they filing them appropriately? Do they send a letter, we call it a welcome to new customer letter, that confirms the terms of trade? Are they alerting their people in their own organisation that they've agreed to give credit to a new customer? All these sort of questions are asked in this review. There's a debtors guarantee form, comments on debtors statements, form on debtors management, there's some notes there on debtors discounting and factoring and debtors insurance, if that's of interest to your client. Some assistance on the debtors evaluation. Follow-up letters as part of the debtors monitoring that your client might care to use. My research tells me that a lot of businesses don't know how to calculate a debtors days outstanding figure. So we've incorporated one within the system together with an example. We think you should show your clients how to do that so they can be monitoring their debtors days outstanding and looking to see where improvements might be able to be made. We've introduced a debtors reduction checklist to help the monitoring of debtors and to calculate what is a target of the collection, a special collection that you need to, say, get the debtors days outstanding down from 58 to 48 days. Who's going to go and get that money? Who are the debtors? And then to progressively record what the collections have been so that everyone is very conscious of the need to get this extra collection. It won't happen otherwise. And that's why there's just so much money tied up in debtors. Just think about the cash flow benefit for your clients if they could reduce from 58 days to 48 days, that 10 days saving. So they're the forms that are included within that area. We haven't got time to keep on going through that, but hopefully that has given you an idea of what's in the debtors management area. We also have there an SME debtors systems manual, which is a pre-prepared, ready-to-go manual that you could edit and make available to your client, charge them a fee for it. It covers a whole range of things, so it's a systems manual that you can customize to suit the particular client, saves you having to do all the work. got a lot of the things we've just looked at. It's got a control form to cover it right through, but in this case I'm going to go to the final document so I can just show you what that looks like. So this is the approach that we have taken on each of these products in preparing material to assist you to undertake these type of reviews. So here's the final systems manual. There's a note there to you accountants, brand it, so put your name on it, prepared by forever the client, and then there's a detailed systems manual that you could sell to your client for a few $100s, and then every year go back and edit it and update it and make sure that any new person working in the debtors area of your client understands what the system is for that business. How many of your clients have currently got a system for debtors, a written system? Not many. And yet some poor person's employed and they're told they've got to look after the debtors. It's one of the reasons debtors' days outstanding are so high, because proper procedures are not getting put in the first place. So that system is there, and as I said, you can edit it to suit the requirements of that client. And we've got all these other products, including the personal property securities register. But I want to move on now. So I'm just going to go to client mentoring and coaching. Don't forget, if you've got any questions, please type them in and raise your hand. There's a lot of material in ESS BIZTOOLS, so when we're switching from one area to another, unfortunately it just does take a little while, times. So we're now in client mentoring and coaching. So there's the headings which we've produced material on. We do respond to client requests. That's where this started from. Someone rang me and was looking for something to hand to a new client. I suggested some papers and he said, why don't you put that into a system? So that's what we did. To just have a look at what's contained. This one has got 6 mail outs or email outs that are going to go to a client. Now this could be a prospect. They're thinking about purchasing or commencing a business. So it's covering some material, a wide range of material, including giving them some minutes of meetings. But in the main, it's looking at papers on small business overview, pitfalls in starting a business, business setup, business structures, sole trader partnerships, trusts, unit trust companies, R&D incentive, tax planning on the purchase of a business. And then there's PowerPoint slides if you want to send them that as well. So that's going to be all downloaded. You can download it into your client's file and then forward that to them. There is a letter which goes with it. You can write your own letter, of course, if you wish, but I'll just show you a letter. So the letter says, this is why we're sending you this. You may have already told them you're going to send it. You can charge for this if you wish. That's up to you. All we want to make sure is that you recover our subscription fee each year at least. And you should be able to recover a lot more than that. But that's telling the client what it's about. And it's also telling them that if they've got any questions or comments, you want to hear from them. And the other key item that goes with each letter is a survey form. Now you'd badge this across the top with your firm name, and then you are inviting the client or prospect to rate each individual paper. If you get people putting things number 5, I'd like to have an email from you to tell me, because we don't want that to happen. But generally we're using the survey form to try to identify the clients that might be looking for some additional advice. And our recommendation is 4 or 5 days after you send this batch of material, one of your staff ring the client and inquire what they thought of it, and more particularly if they got any questions, because this is a vital part of your marketing tool to let your clients know that you are aware of their requirements for some additional services and you're able to provide them. So that's how that series works, and obviously there are different subject headings. It's all prepared. You don't have to worry about whether where you're up to. The system just tells you this is the next lot. You've sent 1, 2 or 3 installments to your clients. So just to give you another look at what was included in there: purchasing or commencing a business, introductory management, experience management, banks, business planning, corporate governance, periodic accounts, networks, exporting, marketing, family businesses, and getting investment ready. That's really to get someone ready who's able to confidently make presentations to business angels or venture capital funds. An interesting assignment, a lot of work in that, and some accountants are getting quite involved in that sort of work. I'm conscious of the time, so I'm just going to go to the Business Plus newsletter. We would really like you to log on and apply for a guest login so that you can have a good look at the system. If you would prefer us to conduct a one-on-one webinar with you and your colleagues in your firm, we're happy to do that. Please contact us and we will organize that. So what we have here is the Business Plus newsletter, the one we released last week. We upload the newsletter to our website on the second Friday of a month. We're up to issue number 112, so we've been doing this for nearly 8 years. There's 13 editions per annum, none in January. First of all, you delete that logo and message there from ESS BIZTOOLS. That's just telling you that we've sent it, and you put your own there because you're the ones communicating with your clients. There's always an editorial article. We're looking at what's in front of us in 2015. There's some very interesting challenges. Digital disruption, the economy, turbulence in politics, what's happening in China, the currency movements, what's likely to happen in the next 12 months. There's a lot of things going on. We talked about the Industry Skills Fund, which was a new grant that was launched in mid-January. Which can apply to micro businesses, small business, medium and large. Applicants have to be a company. We don't write much about tax, but our tax writer wrote something on the capital gains tax update for this month. Leadership, we've been writing a series on leadership, so this week we're looking at pre-facilitation surveys. It's really trying to prompt your clients into saying, yes, We're interested in that. And what I should have been pointing out, and I will do now, is virtually every article finishes with a call to action. If you would like to discuss the results of the leadership survey or anything about leadership, please contact us. We're trying to use this as a means of getting your clients to come and talk to you. We've been running a series for 10 months on what accountants can do for their clients. A lot of clients have got no idea the services you can offer other than a tax return. And this one we have been running a bit of a series on the business health check product which we have. And this week we're looking at ratio analysis, trying to educate the client. If you'd like us to undertake a business health check for your business, please don't hesitate to contact us. Characteristics of a well-run business. You can see that's up to part 17. We're just about finished that series, which has been going for 18 months, whereby we mention a little bit each installment, each article. We've got professional skills, selling skills. We've talked about selling earlier in this webinar. They're very important for accountants, I think. So that's just a little bit of introduction into some of the training that a guy like Trevor Marchant can give on professional selling. So that's our newsletter. It's uploaded to our website at 12 noon Queensland time on the second Friday of a month, and there are 2 extra editions in May, one on the federal budget as it affects small business. That's going to be interesting this year, isn't it? You wouldn't know what was going to happen in the budget. And secondly, on an end-of-year tax planning checklist. Otherwise, it's just a regular newsletter each month. I've switched now to the papers, to the categories of papers. These are the 62 headings I was talking about before, covering a wide range of matters. And if you want to go into a section, we'll go into Personal Property Securities Act. And there's a couple of papers there on the Personal Properties Securities Register. It's a rather large paper, this. It goes for about 40-odd pages. And if you want to read it, you can just click on it and open it. And there's the paper. You badge it across the top with your firm's name and address. Every paper has a set of contents. If you haven't had a good think about the PPSR's effect on your clients, if you don't do anything else from this webinar today other than have a good think and have a look at the exposure that your clients have got under this legislation, then that will be some achievement out of this webinar, because I believe there's going to be ongoing, continual problems out of this legislation for a large number of small, medium enterprises who are completely ignorant of the reach that this legislation's got. And that article there, type of business transactions included, you can virtually say every type of potential business transaction can be caught up under this legislation. And then there's a flow chart which we took out of the Act, or the explanation material. But the rest of it we have written from the material. We've tried to put it into more simple everyday language. Not easy, because this is very complicated. It absorbed about 70 other acts of Parliament, which is summarised there. And the government originally estimated it would cost them $4 million to develop the website for this. And the last report I saw was cost about $45 million. So it's a complicated area. The other thing that I just want to show you, because you haven't seen it today, is a set of PowerPoint slides. So for every one of the papers included in ESS BIZTOOLS, both for accountants and for the SMEs, we have a set of PowerPoint slides. So they can obviously get used in seminars and webinars, but also can be used on one-on-one or one on a small group when you're talking to clients. And a lot of our clients, subscribers, initially use a lot of this material for their own staff training, for getting their team up to speed on business advisory services subjects. I'm just going to leave the testimonial there. So I'm going back to see if there's any questions. I can't see anything, but that basically concludes the webinar today. If you think of some questions later on that you'd like us to answer, please send us an email and we will respond to you. We do look forward to hearing from you as a subscriber or as a guest login, and we hope that you will have a long and very successful relationship with us. But if you don't want to join our organisation, please do something with someone else about business advisory services or another range of products for your clients. This is a very important phase in the history of accountancy businesses in supplying services that the small medium enterprises want. So thank you very much. Have a great day. Goodbye.